Hey Cancer, Happy New Year. I'm here. Alright, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and shuffle these cards if you want to tune in with me real quick. Ask Spirit, what are the messages for Cancer as of February 20? What year are we in? 18? Uh-oh. 1 second, please. Okay, so, ew, side bang, girl, let's get that fixed. Okay, okay, so, Cancer. I've been getting that card an awful lot today. I'm gonna tell you, 1 second, please. Let me just make sure. This is it. Spirit, do you have any other messages for Cancer? February 20. Why are your cards all flying off the ground? Excuse me. Any other messages for Cancer? I'll take those two. All right, Cancer. You guys have the 5 of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, Strength, the 10 of Swords, the Hanging Man, the World, and the 2 of Swords. Okay, so off the bat with this 2 of Swords energy, there's some crossed up wires, crossed up energy, a little bit of confusion coming from somewhere. As soon as I said that, whatever you're thinking of, that's what it is, okay? So the confusion, though, the figuring out the confusion, I feel like intuitively you might understand exactly what could eliminate the confusion. It just might not be a desirable outcome for you. This card for me represents the lesser of 2 evils. Having to choose the lesser of 2 evils. It's like being at a cross with yourself. I don't want to do this because of this, but I don't want to do that because of that. Being willfully ignorant because there is this blindfold sort of over her, and she's crossing her own intuition with the moon being in the background and these 2 sort of mental swords being on top of them. So there's this emotional or esoteric knowing that you are crossing out because it doesn't make sense, or I don't want to say that, I can't say that because of this, or I don't want to believe that because no, the way that I think is this and that, and then that doesn't make any sense. Like, you understand where I'm going, what the energy is with that? And then there's also this very, very defeated energy, this burdened energy that I'm picking up on these cards. And it says, you got the 5 of Pentacles, which is not accepting the help that is being made available to you, being too prideful, being more willing to stand out in the cold in a situation that is not of you or the person that you're with's highest good. But sort of like, oh, I got to prove this to the world. We can do it. Me and you energy, but not in a good way, not in a great way. It's depleting you both of resources or opportunities or some sort of help, like I'm saying, that could be made available. And then the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords are both 2 cards that represent sort of this idealistic burden being placed upon you. And it might not be anything that's completely material. It might not be completely tangible, but it weighs just as much because the ideologies behind the mental burden is like it has a serious threat on your mental health and the way that you think and the way that you process, right? It's a feeling of defeat. It's a feeling of not being good enough. It's a feeling of not being enough, right? And then the Wands is sort of like taking on everyone else's burdens, right? If this is taking on everyone else's ideas, this is definitely, what happened to my camera? Taking on everyone else's burdens as far as you know, taking the brunt for everybody else being able to live through their ideas, and you being the one that has to pick up the pieces at the end, or you being the one that has to tie together all the loose ends, and sort of just feeling bogged down by the practicality of what has to happen in order to sustain all these ideas. Now, I will say you're being asked to channel your inner strength, because I feel like ultimately you want to be able to say that you've had this grand experience, that you've done this grand doing, right? And you might even be, okay, different cancers take things different ways. Some cancers like to play the victim. Some cancers like to play the savior, right? So if you're playing the savior and you're taking this all on willingly, and you're still doing this, even though you understand something's not right, and you know, but you're like, oh, but you know, struggle, you know, in order to achieve in life, in order to see the world, you got to do certain things. And you might be keeping people from their highest good because you're allowing them to use you as a catalyst, or you're allowing them to use you as a crutch, or you're taking on everybody else's burdens, and that's not going to be healthy for you. Even though you may have the resolve to do so, it does take a wrangling with your inner beast in order to say, you know what? Maybe I should see things in a different way, Hangman. And maybe I should stop denying what the inevitable truth is and stop doing this. I mean, I don't know. Cards, can you clarify for me what actually needs to be done? Because I definitely feel that somebody is suffering needlessly. And even if they're not necessarily suffering, they're not receiving the help that they need. They are suffering, okay? I'm not gonna lie. They are suffering. They are enduring this stage with you. And I don't think that that's serving anybody's highest good, just to be completely honest with you. There's a lot of talk, a lot of opportunity being talked about, a lot of ideas being passed back and forth. But the idealization and the manifestation of these things is in the baby stages still. It's not being made a reality per se, but there's a lot of communication going on about ideas. I feel like you definitely need to change your perspective on things, because I feel like I said, that there's that burden. There's both of those burdens, not only the physical burdens, yeah, but the idealistic burdens of, you know, being, like I said, in a place where you're okay, but your morale might be going down. And then you have the Six of Pentacles, which talks about I almost want to say delegating power, delegating duties, allowing everybody to sort of have what is due to them. So allowing people to carry their weight, not taking the weight off of everybody else in order to see things the way you want to necessarily see them. And taking the elephant in the room and making it like, okay, I'm fucking tired. If that's what it is, you know, okay, I feel like I'm handicapping you. You know what I'm saying? Or, I think maybe I don't know. Cancers are known for creating safe spaces for things to be nurtured. And intuitively, cancers know when things are, you guys just have an intuitive knowing. It's like a mother, right? So you know when you're nurturing from when you're coddling. So be honest about yourself, about the way that things are being seen. And even with this World card, that's why I said you might even like being the one that another person can depend on, that another person can throw their baggage onto, because it's almost a sense of power behind that. And I think that the mothering energy likes that sometimes, to be needed, to be a necessary piece of somebody's puzzle. But see it for what it really is. I feel like you're denying yourself of a major truth, especially with this Five of Pentacles card. This is the two people in the clothing, the tattered clothing with the baby, for God's sakes. You know, this miniature life form, you know, this brand new life form, this brand new idea, this brand new manifestation, right, of a creative force. And it's being kept out in the cold because they don't want to go into this church to receive the help that the church is supposed to provide to the community, because they're too proud. Fuck that. Nigga, you fuck that. No, anybody trying to suffer. The fuck? Like, yeah, you have to sometimes, but in this instance, you definitely don't. You definitely don't have to. Definitely not in the way that has been portrayed, I guess you could say, or the way that seems like, oh yeah, let's do this. Like, that's the energy that I'm kind of getting. Is like, yeah, you could, but you also could not. And then, yeah, just seeing that from a different perspective and really looking at what you're keeping from yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is. There's a mentality, there's a mental strength that's being put in front of, or is being deemed more important than the actual truth, what it is that you actually know to be true. You know what I'm talking about more than I know what I'm talking about right now. Don't get caught up in the ways of the world. Don't get caught up in I'm feeling the greed. I'm feeling the pride, the recognition with these. It's like, this reminds me of the Olympics. It's like, I did it. I'm number one. I'm the one with the golden crown. I got the, like, but yeah, but at what cost? So let's do these love cards. Yeah, don't feel the need to make everybody else's ideas your own. You don't have to have your hand in every single pot. It's just not. And I feel like the Six of Pentacles energy is like delegation, but also realizing that you don't have to be the one to divvy out everything. Like, balance that energy. Don't be the sole proprietor in every single situation. Let your friends help you. I can't make that shit up. Honeymoon, which is like a brand new energy that is meant to be enjoyed, as opposed to a burden or something that you have to endure in order to gain some level of power. Any more love cards? The Let Your Friends Help card says ask for and accept support from others. So yeah, it's not about, I keep hearing the word power. It's not about that power paradigm. It's not about that, being more valuable than another person or more worthy. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So you inherently, I feel like, whatever I'm getting at, you know what I'm talking about. And I also feel like the romantic feelings behind things could be, you know, as you know, these cards are not always literal to me when it comes to the sense of love and romance and relationships. Let me explain. Romance is just the idealization of a thing, right? So sometimes we have romantic feelings about how we see things, right? So your feelings are real and worth exploring. Okay. So that could say you're romanticizing the way that things are, when in reality, that's not no shit you need to be romanticizing. The feeling is real, but it's worth exploring maybe another vantage point. The honeymoon, I feel like this right here is telling you, go towards enjoyment. Go towards being joyful. Go towards the victory behind starting the new thing, or being, you know, heading this new wave, or whatever it is that's going on. Enjoy it. Don't be so caught up in like, I have to do everything. I have to be the one, because if I don't, nobody else will, and so I will be the one to divvy out and ration. That energy, and it's like, okay, yeah, you know, somebody gonna fuck with you, but at what expense? Like, how come it has to be so? It's written with pride, and I feel like that's the part that's bothering me. Yeah, let your friends help you. Let it be a joyous occasion. Let it be something that everybody can relish in. Let me see. And what call to action do you have for Cancer this month? This one. Get a news story, and we'll leave it at that. Tell yourself something different, fam. Like, it's not all about this. This shit, I'm telling you, this make my back hurt just looking at it. And this one right here just made me want to go to sleep and give up. And I don't, like, it's not worth the mental stress. It's not worth the physical shit that you're putting on your back right now. It's like, I feel like, yeah, the world, because the opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. So naturally, you guys want to reach that opposition. You want to achieve in life. You want to create a safe space for you and your people, and you want to be in that place of power. That's really what it's about. I mean, the motherhood is like the most ultimate power. You know, it's the power to create and nurture a seed and watch it grow. And so naturally, Capricorns want to achieve. I mean, Cancers, I'm sleepy, y'all, and hungry and everything else. Naturally, Cancers want to achieve. The means by which you get there, don't turn a blind eye to that. Because what it is what it is, and what it ain't is what it ain't. And if you telling yourself this story that all of this, it's almost like you know some shit ain't right. You know that shit ain't right. And it's almost, I want to say, eating you up to a certain extent. Like whatever it is, that's phone call. But as I was saying, you know, Cancers be knowing, okay? Like let's not play these pity pat games here. And I feel like a change is definitely necessary because you guys also, even though you're a cardinal sign, you can be very defensive and very, like you find something that works for you and then you think nothing else will work, or you think other people are stupid for doing it other ways, which, I mean, hey, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but at the end of the day, I feel like you gotta tell yourself, you gotta get yourself a new story, because the story that you're telling, it's just not, like, I feel like you literally want to take everything for yourself. You literally want to be the bearer of all things, the bearer of all possibilities, all ideas, all opportunities, all new waves. You know, like that shit is not healthy. It's not good. You can't sustain. You got to find the inner strength to know when to hold them, when to fold them. You got to find the inner strength to know, in a sense, like I said, where's that card? How to delegate, or at least how to release certain stuff that doesn't, you can't hoard everything. You can't be in possession of everything at once. You know, you got to let some stuff go, and feeling like, you know, everything that comes my way, I can handle it, I can take it on. That's cool. It's good to be ambitious, but at the same time, don't break yourself trying to make yourself. With that being said, you guys can all get a personal reading from me by simply doing one of two things. Number one would be go to nellnicole.com, check out my music page, of course, and then there's a tab that says Nell for High Vibe Services. You can go there, scroll all the way to the bottom, leave me your name, what type of reading you like, astrological, compatibility, tarot, blase split, and a date and time that works for you, and I can let you know if that will work for me, get you some price points. I usually try to reply within like 5 days or so. Or you can just email me directly with all that same information, and I'll get back to you within that same time frame. As always, please like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and at the end card will feature my official single for my music video for Dreams. You can go check that out, like that, comment on that, subscribe to that channel for everything Nell Nicole, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.